Hey basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about Giannis Antetokounmpo and how good he plays his post defense. Now, really quickly, we all know he is a fantastic basketball player, and I've actually broken down some of his basketball moves as well. I should, if I remember, will link that video in the description below. But anyways, let's get down to the iPad, the clipboard, the video, whatever, and let's check out his amazing defense. Okay, so here we have the All-Star Game this past year. This was a fantastic All-Star Game, actually probably one of the best fourth quarters ever. But here we have LeBron James trying to go one-on-one against Giannis. Now we do have Joel Embiid sticking his butt in the way, however, at the same time, he allowed Giannis to take LeBron James one-on-one. Now, the great thing with what Giannis Antetokounmpo was able to do was not cross his feet, which is what allowed him to keep up with LeBron James. Of course, they're both really strong players, so that does help. I'm not going to deny that. However, as we can see here, this is perfect defense. Giannis is staying low, he's on his toes, he has his hand up in the direction that LeBron James is going. He's also, because of his length, able to take away the spin move by also playing just a bit behind LeBron James. He's not playing too far ahead, and because of that, he is going to be able to take away the spin move. Because what LeBron James does a lot is he will drive on a player and then he will spin off, because the player is trying to stop LeBron James's forward momentum, and he's been able to understand how to stop the player from getting an advantage on him by just doing a simple spin move into the middle of the key. Now, because how Giannis is playing him, Giannis is a bit more lankier than him. He's able to take away that lane and that shot by having his arm up, but also by playing maybe an inch or two behind LeBron James, he's able to stop that spin move from happening. So now LeBron James is stuck. He tries that spin move, as we can see here. He tried it, but he ended up knowing that, hey, I'm not going to be able to spin on this guy. There is no way I'm going to be able to score trying to use my strength to score on Giannis. And because of that, he spins back and he does a shot fake, which is a great move in theory, but for one, it's not that great of a shot fake, because his body is still going down while he's doing the shot fake. As we can see here, his body goes down, the shot fake's going up. Giannis is a good defender. In the NBA, if you're a good defender, you're not going to be caught off by that shot fake, because if you're the offensive player right here, and you're going down, and that foot's still going down while you're doing a shot fake, if it's a good defender, and you can also take this note to yourself as well. If the player's still on his way back down and he's doing a shot fake, that means that he's not going to be shooting it, so do not jump. And Giannis does not jump here. So that is a very good skill to have, understanding what the player is doing. Now, LeBron James goes down, he shoulders Giannis. Now, that is an offensive foul in most leagues, but this is LeBron James in an All-Star game. Yeah, so there's no fouls being called there. And because of this, LeBron James is off center. Now, there was no way he was going to be able to score in this position. He is on one foot, he's jumping off 1 foot, and then on top of it all, he's not square, his shoulders are facing this way, so he's going to have to try and force the ball out towards the right side. So even if he does have the ability to have the strength to get it over top of Giannis's massive hands, he's not going to have a very high percentage chance of hitting that target. So Giannis doesn't exactly really have to jump here if he didn't want to risk a foul. But because LeBron James really has no other course of action, and as we can see here, we also have Giannis jumping straight up. So even if he was to take this shot and Giannis is going straight up, there's no way that shot's going to be a high percentage. And on top of it all, there's still 9 seconds left of the shot clock. He could have easily held that ball and waited for another player to maybe set a screen away and get another player open, because 9 seconds is still a ton of time. So this is a big mistake by LeBron James. I'm not crapping on LeBron James. He is a really good player, but so is Giannis. And everyone makes mistakes, and we're learning from those mistakes right now. And so Giannis is able to get that block, but a lot of players, when they go and try to block a shot, especially a low percentage shot like what LeBron James is doing right here, they will jump forward into that player and sometimes cause a foul, in which case just basically helps that offensive player out from making a mistake. And Giannis did not do that. He was able to jump straight up. He did reach forward, but that's to block the shot. That's not going to get called a foul, and he's able to make that play. And as we can see here, this is really great post defense. Hands straight up, not on the player at all, perfectly straight up. Now, of course, this is a bit forward. As we can see, it's not perfectly straight up, but you're going to have forward momentum anyways because this player is leaning away. And as we can see, this is definitely not any kind of a perfect shot. There's no way of this being lined up. This leg is sort of square towards the basket, but this leg is still pointing out to like the baseline. There's no way this shot's going to even have any kind of a chance to go in, especially when you have Giannis's massive hands blocking that shot. So now I'm going to break down how Giannis was able to block this layup right here. Now, how is this able to happen? Now, let's go back just a bit. So he gets screened, and now he's going to try and fight around. It's a good thing that he actually fought around. A lot of players don't fight around screens. They say, hey, switch, now this guy over here, he's going to be in a mismatch because this was a pretty solid screen. But anyways, this defender is in no way, shape, or form in the position to go and play help defense or to switch off. So, and also, like, check out Embiid, like, that he is in no way playing help defense. Help defense should be having Joel Embiid down on that low block when there's a play happening up here. So, Giannis needs to recover. He needs to recover fast. So what does he do? He fights through the screen. Now, he knows if you're a really good defender, you know your timing when it comes to a shot. Especially when you're a bit taller than your opponent. As soon as this player picks up that ball and he has that hand underneath that ball, as we see LeBron James has right now, as a defensive player, you have to understand that that player now has a pivot foot. That's his pivot foot right there. So if he picks up that pivot foot, you need to go block the shot because there's no way he's coming back down because that's going to be a travel call on him. So he goes one and up, and because of that, there's no way he's going back down. And if you have the ability, the jumping ability, the size, or whatever it may be, you now know that you can block that shot. You know where this player's momentum is going, so you know exactly where not to go to cause a foul. And because of that, now Giannis is able to take his last jump in a lot more controlled fashion and get that block. Now, this is a really close call. It ended up being a block and not a goaltend, but first off, one hell of a play, but that's why this was a block. That's why Giannis was able to get this block. It was because he knows when a player gathers that ball, he knows where that player's pivot foot is, and he knows exactly when he needs to take off to block a shot. That's why he blocks so many running shots, because he knows his timing. Okay, so here's another great example. So here we have the Sacramento Kings going up against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. And Giannis is playing this player straight up. That means that he's not forcing one way or the other, which means that this player needs to make a decision. He needs to try and create space or drive towards the rim. Now, it's really hard to shoot over Giannis because of his size, so you need to really use your body, but you just need to try and get rid of him. So what he does here is a quick jab step towards Giannis, and then he pulls back. So that was a really nice move. He did a jab step, tries to pull back, and he notices, hey, I really have not taken Giannis all that far away from me. Giannis is, like, that's one step for Giannis. You need to have 2 or 3 steps away from a player before you should have an open shot by using a move like this. So he recognizes that, so he pulls back, and he crosses back over. So what does Giannis do here? He takes one hop step back. Look, a hop step. This is not a step back. This is a hop step. The reason why you want to do a hop step back is because now you can recover quickly and you can change directions. Also, let's see if we can get a close-up of his feet. He's on his toes. Check that out. And I've been preaching this all the time. And I get so much kickback from some trainers who are on Instagram saying, oh yeah, you can play defense on your heels. No, that's wrong. If a trainer's saying that, you should not listen to him. So, he is on his toes, and he took a hop step back, which now allows him to change directions, but also, he's now forcing his player towards the baseline. Now, being a taller player, myself even, when I was younger, I was 6 feet tall in grade 6, and I was 6'2" in grade 8. As a taller player, I like to force my player's baseline. Now, there's a reason for that. I figured out the timing that works perfectly. If they're going to be going in for a layup on this side, left-handed off this side, I'm going to be able to play their hip and block their layup. Now, if I get just a bit behind them and then recover, once we get here, they're going to go in for a reverse so that they can use the rim as protection, but by me playing their hip, by being maybe 3 inches behind them, take a quick step, I'm able to block their shot on the reverse. So that's why Giannis really wants to try and force him baseline. But this player wants to go into against some help defense, which is smart because Giannis is a taller player, and Giannis is able to keep up with him. Now, as a defensive player, you have to know when a player does his gather step. So right here, this is this player's gather step. So now that last step is technically his pivot foot, but again, as a referee, that could be classified as a gather step right there because his hand goes underneath that ball to gather it. So now technically that's his gather step there. That's his pivot foot. He's allowed 1 to 2 other extra steps, 2.5 technically speaking after that, but he left that pivot foot and he's jumping, which means that because of Giannis's height advantage, he's able to now see that this player is going to be going up for a shot. This player could also be kicking it out to other players. There's a few players who are open, but as a defensive player recovering to try and block a shot, this player's momentum is bringing him in this direction, which means that you cannot cross that path. You have to understand that as a defensive player. So, to not cross his path, you're going to be traveling in the same moment or same direction as your as your offensive player, and that allows you to block his shot just like that. I hope that this helps you be able to defend players just like Giannis, especially if you're a taller player like Giannis is versus other players in the NBA. This is going to be a video that you really want to watch. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that this video has helped you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys again in another one of our videos.